Hello and welcome to another episode of Current Affairs MCQ. Let us begin with the previous day's question. Consider the following pairs of traditional water management systems and their locations in India. 1. Jack Wells, Great Nicobar Islands. 2. Zabo, Kerala. 3. Kuls, Himachal Pradesh. How many of the above pairs are correctly matched? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is option B. Jack Wells, pits surrounded by bunds made of hardwood logs practiced by Shompen tribe. Great Nicobar Islands, hence pair 1 is correctly matched. Key features include pits, hardwood bunds. Zabo, system in Nagaland combining water conservation with forestry, agriculture and animal care. Nagaland, hence pair 2 is not correctly matched. Key features include rainwater collection, pond-like structures, terraced hillsides. Hulls, surface water channels in Himachal Pradesh. Hence, pair 3 is correctly matched. Key features include surface channels and glacial water. Hence, option B is the correct answer.
Welcome SSC aspirants. Drishti SSC is here to support you every step of the way with free live classes, previous year questions, PYQs, demo classes, exam notifications, and strategy videos. Whether you're starting your journey or looking to refine your preparation, we've got you covered. Subscribe to our channel and stay updated with all the resources you need to crack your SSC exams. For more details, call us at 8750187501.
Question 1. With reference to goods and services tax, consider the following statement. 1. GST functions as a destination-based tax levied on consumption. 2. Petroleum products and alcohol for human consumption remain outside GST. 3. Under GST, exports and supplies to special economic zones or their developers are treated as zero rated. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is C. Goods and services tax is a destination-based consumption tax, which means it is imposed at the place of consumption rather than the place of origin. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Petroleum products and alcohol for human consumption are kept outside the ambit of GST. These items continue to attract VAT imposed by states under entry 54 of the state list. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Exports and supplies to special economic zones or SEZ developers are treated as zero rated under GST, meaning no GST is levied on them, with the objective of promoting exports and fostering SEZ development. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 2. Which of the following reports are published by the United Nations Environment Programme? 1. Emission Gap Report. 2. Adaptation Gap Report. 3. Global Environment Outlook. 4. World Energy Outlook. Select the correct answer using the code given below. A. 1, 2 and 3 only. D. 1 and 4 only. C. 2, 3 and 4 only. D. All 4. The correct answer is option A. The United Nations Environment Programme, established on 5th June 1972, is the leading global environmental authority. It is responsible for setting the global environmental agenda, promoting sustainable development within the UN system, and acting as an authoritative advocate for environmental protection. Its major reports include the Emission Gap Report, Adaptation Gap Report, Global Environment Outlook, Frontiers, and Invest into Healthy Planet. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 3. With reference to the National Food Security Act 2013, consider the following statements. 1. The Act seeks to provide food and nutritional security by ensuring access to adequate quantities of quality food at affordable prices. 2. It covers 75% of the urban population and 50% of the rural population under the targeted public distribution system. 3. In case of non-supply of entitled food grains or meals, beneficiaries shall receive a food security allowance from the state government as prescribed by the central government. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 1 and 3 only. C. 2 and 3 only. D. All of the above. The correct answer is B. The National Food Security Act 2013 seeks to provide food and nutritional security through a life cycle approach by providing people access to adequate quantities of quality food at affordable prices, thereby enabling them to live with dignity. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The Act covers 75% of the rural population and up to 50% of the urban population under the targeted public distribution system, benefiting about 67% of India's total population. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. In case the entitled food grains or meals are not supplied under the NFSA, the beneficiaries are entitled to receive a food security allowance from the concerned state government to be paid to each person in time and manner prescribed by the central government. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 4. With reference to the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Urja Suraksha Evam Utthan Maha Abhiyan, consider the following statements. 1. It is implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare and aims at the de-dieselization of the farm sector along with enhancing farmers' income. 2. The scheme provides a central government subsidy for standalone solar pumps and solarization of existing grid-connected agricultural pumps. 3. Farmers can install grid-connected solar power plants up to 2 MW on barren or fallow land and sell electricity to local discoms. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is B. PM Kusum scheme is implemented by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy and aims at the de-dieselization of the farm sector along with enhancing farmers' income. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. Under the scheme, central government subsidy up to 30% or 50% of the total cost is given for the installation of standalone solar pumps and for the solarization of existing grid-connected agricultural pumps. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Further, farmers can also install grid-connected solar power plants up to 2 MW under the scheme on their barren or fallow land and sell electricity to local discom at a tariff determined by the state regulator. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 5. The new collective quantified goal on climate finance, recently seen in the news, is associated with which of the following international organizations? A. World Bank's Climate Investment Funds. B. Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. C. United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. D. International Union for Conservation of Nature. The correct answer is C. A key outcome of COP29 held in Baku, Azerbaijan under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change was the adoption of the new collective quantified goal on climate finance. It seeks to increase climate finance to USD 300 billion annually by 2035, up from the earlier target of USD 100 billion per year. Mobilize USD 1.3 trillion per year by 2035 through combined contributions from public and private sources. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 6. Consider the following statements regarding the Fast Track Special Court Scheme. 1. The scheme is implemented under the Ministry of Law and Justice and is funded through the Nirbhaya Fund to facilitate the speedy trial of rape and child sexual abuse cases. 2. As per the POCSO Act 2012, special courts are mandated to complete trials within 6 months from the date of taking cognizance of the offence. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is A. The Fast Track Special Court Scheme, launched in 2013, is a centrally sponsored scheme under the Ministry of Law and Justice. It is financed through the Nirbhaya Fund to establish FTSCs for the speedy disposal of rape and child sexual abuse cases. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012 mandates special courts to conclude trials within 1 year from the date of taking cognizance of the offence. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 7. With reference to jellyfish, consider the following statements. 1. Jellyfish belong to the phylum Cnidaria, which also includes corals and sea anemones. 2. They possess a backbone and a brain, which help in their movement and coordination. 3. They use specialized stinging cells called cnidocytes to capture prey and defend against predators. 4. Jellyfish are found only in warm tropical oceans. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. 3 only. D. All 4. The correct answer is B. Jellyfish are members of the phylum Cnidaria, a group of animals that includes corals, sea anemones, hydroids, and siphonophores. They are considered to be one of the earliest branches of the animal tree of life. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Although called jellyfish, they are invertebrates without backbones and rank among the simplest animals, having no brain, heart, or skeleton. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. Jellyfish feed on fish, shrimp, crabs, and microscopic plants using specialized stinging cells or cnidocytes in their tentacles to stun or paralyze prey before consuming it. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Jellyfish generally drift with ocean currents and can be found in all types of ocean waters worldwide. Hence, statement 4 is not correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 8. Consider the following statements regarding Majorana 1. 1. Microsoft's Majorana 1 quantum chip is designed to transform the field of quantum computing. 2. It could help in breaking down microplastics and creating self-healing materials. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is C. Microsoft has unveiled Majorana 1, the world's first quantum chip built on a topological core architecture with a goal of revolutionizing quantum computing. Hence, statement 1 is correct. It can help in breaking down microplastics into harmless byproducts or inventing self-healing materials for construction, manufacturing, or healthcare. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 9. The islands of Bitra, Kadmat, and Kalpeni are part of which of the following regions? A. Andaman and Nicobar Islands. B. Lakshadweep Islands. C. Pondicherry. D. Gulf of Mannar. The correct answer is B. Lakshadweep is India's smallest union territory, an archipelago consisting of 36 islands with an area of 32 square kilometers. It is a uni-district union territory and comprises 12 atolls, 3 reefs, 5 submerged banks, and 10 inhabited islands. The inhabited islands are Kavaratti, Agati, Amini, Kadmat, Kiltan, Chetlat, Bitra, Androt, Kalpeni, and Minicoy. Bitra is the smallest of all. The uninhabited islands, Bangaram, have been enumerated during 2011 census operation and has a population of 61 persons. The main occupation of the people is fishing, coconut cultivation, and coir twisting. Tourism is an emerging industry. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 10. Consider the following statements regarding the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016. 1. It replaced the Rehabilitation Council of India Act 1992. 2. Acid attack victims are not included under the list of specified disabilities in the Act. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is D. The Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016 was enacted to implement the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, which India ratified in 2007. It replaced the earlier Persons with Disabilities, Equal Opportunity, Protection of Rights and Full Participation Act 1995. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. Under RPWD Act 2016, the types of disabilities have been increased from the existing 7 to 21, in which for the first time acid attack victims, blood diseases like hemophilia and sickle cell anemia, among others, have been included. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Now, let us look at a practice question for today. Regarding the assistance in deploying energy efficient technologies in industries and establishments scheme, consider the following statements. 1. It has been launched by the Union Ministry of Power in collaboration with the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. 2. It aims to accelerate the adoption of advanced energy efficient technologies across India's micro, small and medium enterprises sector to reduce overall energy consumption. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. Please provide your answers in the comment section.
अब एग्जाम की तैयारी को और बेहतर करने के लिए हमारे चैनल को लाइक, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें।